Hello, and welcome to the Stream of Chaos. My name is Dave, and I will be your keeper of arcane lore for this session of Call of Cthulhu. Today we are continuing our playthrough of the Two-Headed Serpent, and you can get your own copy of this campaign over at Chaosium.com. You can also find all of our collected VODs on the Chaosium YouTube channel, and we do stream live each Friday at 5 p.m. Pacific on Twitch. I'll give a thank you to Roll20 and Sirenscape for being tools which we use to improve our games, and also say that while we're playing here, there's also Chaosium Con going on over in Michigan. So unfortunately we can't be there, but hello to everyone that's there, and we hope you're having a wonderful time if you're catching up on this on the YouTube after the fact. We've also got Jackson back this week, so we'll catch Dr. Sam up on the, I want to say, shenanigans. What's like a more sinister shenanigan? A scheme, disaster, event on the events of last. A plot, yeah. There was less plotting though. It was more just like scrambling. Scramble works.
I mean, I'd say clusterfuck, but I think that wasn't quite there yet. Like we haven't quite gotten to like the cluster level. Like we didn't
fuck the cluster.
It was one small beat below clusterfuck.
I think we just got 60 seconds in, which means that we can still, from an age rating guideline, we would say
we'll censor it aggressively. So we'll run around the table and reintroduce investigators. This is all done under the context of you still enjoying Hubert Smith's remote camp retreat and waking up in a cold sweat. Art, why don't you begin?
Hi, I'm Art. I will not be censored. And I am playing Lieutenant Aries Carter, part snake at this point. Part human, all badass. It's the best I got this morning. They are in the process of currently waking from a very odd dream. I feel like, those sometimes you like have dreams where you have people in them that are definitely not people you know, but are absolutely people you know. And you're like, I'm pretty sure that that's not what that person looks like, but I was very convinced it was them.
It's also,
which is odd.
Yeah, it's weird because, you thought your friends were in it, and then as you begin to wake, they're also gathered around you, and you remember you're, in that one cabin. It's all just strange, and you're trying to sort of filter it and hold on to pieces.
There's also absolutely a moment where I wake up and, turn over as though to look at another, bed in the room that, as a child, would have contained my brother.
Yeah.
And he's not there. And then I realize where I am and how old I am and what. Thanks, buddy. So I think there's a lot of just that. Sometimes there's those rare moments where you wake up and you're like, I do not know where I am or who I am.
Yeah.
And then a beat later, you're like, no, I know where I am. This is all good now. But you complete ego death for 10 seconds. I really think it's kind of cool when that happens. It's great, but boy, it's a lot.
Hell yeah. All right. Up next, we'll chuck across to Jackson with Dr. Sam.
That's me. I'm hoping all my tech is still working because, hi, I'm Jackson. I'm coming to you live from my childhood bedroom. I promise I haven't thrown out all my RPG books and embarked on a quest to catch them all. Don't worry. And, I'm playing Dr. Samuel Taylor Thompson, who was absent last session as well because he was having a good kip, I think, because he doesn't need that dream nonsense. He's just gonna have the regular old sleep as nature intended.
That's right. And you were keeping an eye out on the others as they tread through dreams, sort of keeping watch and making sure that should the worst happen, you were able to give them a slap across the face and bring them back to the land of the living. And and now they just returned.
Good plan.
We'll pass across to Jim and Hubert.
Absolutely. Yes, that is me. I am Jim. I am playing Hubert, the big man with a big heart, unnaturally enlarged by serpent person serum, and still determined to be an all-round cheerful chap. I have woken up from dreams, but it's just one of the many things that I don't entirely understand about the situations that I find myself in on a day-to-day basis. It'll be all right. The others will figure it out. It's going to be fine.
You're also on the scale of like remembering things and being able to pass it. Carter was the lowest, having basically been like, in the moment and just having a general sense of like weird vibes. Hubert, you remember like Peter and you can be like, that can't be right. That can't be right.
Yeah.
That can't be right.
I think that Hubert has a little bit of a feeling that he's sometimes walking through a dream in real life, not quite paying attention to anything. So it all sort of just tracks.
It's just fine. You'll figure it out. Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah, I think I have to learn about jousting is the one thing that's really fixed in there, but that's about it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You weren't able to get all of your questions answered.
Were you able to put a number next to jousting in your character sheet?
Well, ride is still and will always be my best skill.
You should take the fighting spear's one of them, right? You could take fighting spear at just base and then just start putting some points in it so you're ready when you get your lance.
Not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea as long as I can use the RuneQuest lance extra damage mechanics. We'll get into it.
Or do the related skill rules apply? Like when you hit 50 in ride, you automatically get 10 in joust.
I think typically it would be a gate, so I can't have a fighting skill above what my ride skill is because I'm limited by my ability to control the vehicle or horse, as the case may be. Because I'm going to go motorcycle jousting if we're going to head for it.
Oh, very important.
The Segway's a thing in the 1920s. Anyway, I digress.
While Jim Googles Segways, I will pass across to Alex.
Hi, I'm Alex, and I'm playing Wilhelmina St. Clair, the driver of the cluster that was not fucked. And I remember everything, and it's a little bit troubling, but at least we know where we're going now.
Yeah, you have a direction just at the last minute. Hubert was able to get a vibe or a sense off of where Tyrannish had fled to, and he got the feeling of India. Now, of course, very large place, a lot of people, so a little bit of research to be done, but you've got a thread that you can pull on.
City.
That's right.
Yeah, I have no idea what city. I definitely didn't accidentally say the name of the city because I had that told to me early before we should know it. I'm sorry.
No one knows anything. Everyone shut up. All right, so...
Also, my passenger has been rearranging shit in my head, and I don't think I like it.
Yes, that is also true. Aegis has had a little bit of a have a go at getting out. And you're also... So, the final mention... Weird way to phrase this. The final thing that happened in the last session was as Minnie was sort of closing the doors and everyone was waking from slumber, you had that realization that, Tyrannish is this is a domain that she's tread in for millennia. This is very much her court and the slips between as well as the dreams themselves. And if she can, she's clearly been in your heads before in your dreams. When you first traveled in, she was inside Carter's. So when you sleep, you're very much concerned that this may happen again. And Minnie's particularly vulnerable because with just a few turned keys, Atos could be let back out. And then you've got a friend that you might not desperately want. I'll pass it back to the four of you to catch Dr. Sam back up on what's happened and make plans for what's coming next. I will also reiterate that Tyrannish kind of emphasized a time pressure from here on out. The clock is ticking, events are coming into play.
Days and weeks.
It's either, it's act now or lose the opportunity. So, I pass it off to the four of you.
I'm waking up and remembering everything. I'm going to make sure that my companions are still, here and alive.
Was this something that you all embarked on with Dr. Sam's knowing,
yes,
supervision?
you were in the room. You
that's
were
fine.
like the decision was that the three of us would try and rest, and you would essentially be on like bedside watch duty in the way that potentially would be in a hospital for like someone who is in a coma or unwell, to just be like, if something happens, you can get us out of it with whatever drugs and or slaps across the face are required.
That said, we did do it across several nights and had to try a few times. I don't think there was active monitoring. So for the sake of...
No, we didn't. We did it once.
I think
it was one night. It was one night.
Oh,
I had to try a couple of times.
Practiced a few instances. My bad.
What was the practice?
This was supposed to be the practice run.
We were meant to get into Gonzalez's dreams, and that's what happened.
Yeah, this was just the dry run, which rapidly became wet.
Yeah.
Moist.
I,
Don't
yeah,
actually hate that. So never mind.
well, I think I was going to say for dramatic purposes, I just like the idea of us all knocking on the door to your laboratory, which I assumed you'd be bustling back and forth between, where we could easily explain things to you. But yeah, I mean, you would probably coax us out of dreaming, and we'd walk you through things pretty quick.
All right. Walk me through things pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Presuming then we've all sat down and we're all getting into it. Yeah, once
I've made sure that everybody has pulses and haven't been brain scrambled by what we went through. Do you remember anything from the dream? Well, the not dream.
Oh, that's right. We were going to try that dream walking thing.
Okay.
And we
got
We did.
bits and
We did.
pieces.
We did.
Something about a knight and jousting.
No, that was just you. That was just your dream. That was entirely you, Hugh, but that was just the space
No, but
inside.
then it kind of
between you and
merged.
your
'Cause
side.
didn't we go? We went on like a quest with a jousting fight against a lizard, and then there was a snake champion and something.
Kind of. I came and collected you, and you were having a medieval fair inside your brain. And then you and I tried to collect our friend Ares, which we did, but we couldn't really get through to you. We were very much in the dream, which is probably why you don't remember anything. And then we tried to find Gonzalez, and we found somebody else. We found Rose, who was not Rose.
What did we find? Rose? I thought we found
Tyrannish.
Yes, that's.
Oh
right.
yeah, we found Tyrannish, didn't we? Yeah. We found the pharaoh. I was going back through my notes.
Yeah, that's right.
We found the mummy from Borneo.
The sleeper, the that's it, the dreaming one, the one that woke up, the one that escaped.
Jump through the portal.
Yeah.
I know I've always been of a firm opinion that I don't dream.
Oh, you do. You very much do.
Wow.
Well, I guess there's a difference between, maybe you don't want to remember all your dreams, but the point is, we found, that we had a conversation.
So we found Rose, and we found.
No, we just found Tyrannish. We found
Tyrannish,
the pharaoh.
the name of the sleeping
Tyrannish.
creature,
Mm-hmm.
and
Good,
she
good,
offered.
good.
The pharaoh that we pulled out of Dodge. So wait,
What's
we
she up to
haven't.
these days?
Yeah, basically.
Oh.
But, well,
What's she up to these days? She doing well?
It was interesting.
Still down?
She explained to us that there are really a few factions of lizard people. They all have absolutely no respect for humanity to varying degrees, with varying, none of them have any respect for us. One group very much wants us dead and gone right now. One group is kind of willing to wait us out. And Tyrannish wants us to band together genetically with the lizards and become one species, which is less immediately kind of horrifying, but the more I think about it, it may in fact be the worst.
One side was eradication. The other side wanted to use
Wait
us.
them out.
Wanted to keep us as they wanted to be on top.
Just subjugate us, possibly eat us, wait for us all to die out, and then Tyrannish would like us to become a brand new hybrid species, which putting it like that is definitely the worst.
She said as well. She said she's the only one who is any kind of sympathetic towards humans.
And it did not sound sympathetic at all, really.
Well,
Quick question. Did we go to a farm?
Did we go to a farm?
Kind of.
Because I don't know, cows, something's ringing in the back of my head. A sound.
Bells, you mean? Or
No, the lowing, moo.
oh, sorry, yeah, moo. Okay, that's
no cows, but
so mentioned the rising of
the rising of moo.
Their old kingdom. So that's what they're all after, and they said it's happening in weeks, if not days. And they also said the big thing is that when moo rises, which is apparently very, very soon.
Days or weeks.
Yeah. There's inside Moo, there is old serpent person technology, lost to
weapons.
Weapons that will allow whichever faction to get a hold of them to become the dominant one.
Gotcha. Moo's their
And that
city?
also
Is that
includes,
right?
yes, I
Moo's a
suspect it
full
also includes.
continent.
It's a full, yeah, it's a whole, it's a lost continent. But I feel like the factions now also do include Cataseus, because if they get their hands on tech and weapons, we know what they're willing and capable of.
And us too. If we can get a hold of them, exactly what happens.
I think nobody should get a hold of them, to be honest. I think if we get there first, if we can destroy as much as we can.
And on that note, they did. Well, Tyrannish said that the rising of Mu in some way seems to be related to that crown, the artifact that we found.
Yes.
Or didn't find.
Well,
it was missing.
The one that we did not find.
Yeah, sorry, you're right. Yeah, but so anyway,
Who has the scepter?
Cataseus.
Cataseus has got that one. It's in their basement.
Do we think we need both or just one?
I think we're on too much of a time.
She seems focused on the
restriction.
crown, not really
Crown?
dismissive of the scepter.
the other thing is that
I don't think we can go back to Cataseus right now.
those
No.
tools as well, ostensibly, are used to rise Mu. Mu, whatever how you pronounce it. So we might not want them because we might want them destroyed, lost, forgotten at the bottom.
Ideally.
Yeah, dumped into a Hasfarang dimension or something. What we did get, I mean, we've been talking about what our next move is, whether we go back to Cataseus, whether we go to the facility out in rural America. I've forgotten exactly which state. But
Connecticut.
Vermont.
Connecticut, yeah.
I
But
think.
the one thing that we now have is that we were able to get some kind of tracking impulse, for want of a better word, like a
Virginia.
dream sense.
Thank you.
A dream
sorry,
sense
it is.
of
As you were.
whichever one. A dream sense of where Tyrannish is,
Yeah.
and in India is the answer. And that was the one time that we've ever felt like we might be ahead of the game. So the conversation was, we go to India, right?
Now, really, hopefully, like very soon.
Right.
The
No,
impression
yeah.
the impression we got from Tyrannish was this is moving now, and because we refused to agree on behalf of the entire human race to become human lizards hybrids in perpetuity, everybody all at once, Tyrannish is now not even close to an ally, and we need to move.
We know that
Great,
there's
good
multiple
plan.
sides and we can start to play them off each other. And I think that it should be, hopefully, if anyone's going to India, it's probably because there's a reason to be there. And if one faction's there, conceivably the others are. I think that we start to research. We look into the place. We try and find out.
We do it on the way.
As a start, we can look into what areas of India require aid. That would give us an idea of where Caduceus might be set up. And if not that, then some general kind of just
Legends about
Things-
snakes. It seems trite.
I think aid is the place to start. I think we'll be pretty clear. And if there is nothing, then bully for us. We're ahead of the curve. They don't have
When I got the impulse of the dream, I definitely got the imprint of like a city.
Yes.
Right, Dave? Yeah.
Correct.
All right. So yeah.
we're looking for a city that potentially needs aid, but also just a city that maybe is going through a period of a little bit more,
crisis.
I don't want to say unrest, but something to that effect. Something
A city with a little bit,
upheaval.
or somewhere that has a known shrine to some kind of unknown snake-related religion.
My
In
one worry
India,
is that
right?
between mission work and sort of general aid, there's a lot of focus on India broadly.
Yeah.
I think if we start there, we'll hit. We need a cross-reference. Is my point.
Yeah.
And I think that
They're also pretty big on
Great.
snakes in a lot of
Yeah,
religion-
but if there's
religious
something that's
stuff,
kind
it's
of not
not saying it's much
associated
of a
with
negative.
anything major that people look at it and are about, oh, this is a bit weird,
100%.
weird snake,
Well, look,
weird snake religion presence.
Do we want to
Cataseus?
start a little bit of research here in the States, but maybe we'll have a bit of feel for the country once we get there.
I agree. I think we need to leave. I think we need to move.
The only
It's a
other thing,
long-
the only
it's a
other thing,
long trip. Yeah, we could start and research on the way.
Yeah.
yeah. The only other thing I will flag, because you could get like a train to the coast and then get started.
Yeah.
Blah blah. Because it'll take you a while. The only other thing I will flag is that you're concerned about vulnerability while sleeping. Presently, because when you actually got this hit, Hubert, you got the impression that because Tyrannish is quite competent at this, she was effectively meditating. Like, she was doing this while it was daytime,
Yeah, she
where
can do
she
this shit when
was.
she's awake, and
She could, by your estimation of her power, basically just be like spot checking to see if people are asleep, and then when they are, have a little bit of an invade. So you might need to consider some sort of mental defenses.
Sleeping pills, please, Dr. Sam. Something that will knock us out cold. Dreamless sleep.
Oh, that's way better. I was thinking that something would keep us up until Moo rose.
Mr. Smith, that is a form of torture and is generally considered to be, a war crime.
Okay. Well, not
I'm
that.
going to be.
Also, it will kill you.
This is why I have experts with me. I rely on them.
I'm going to be honest. My audio driver just had a bit of a hiccup. I lost sound for a second.
Did you come back into war crime?
That might be a war crime, to be honest. So that's good.
Staying awake instead of having sleeping tablets to knock us out. So no dreaming.
Gotcha.
Well, maybe a combination of both. I don't know, depending on the situation. But there's one. So I'm relatively constitute. So Dr. Sam, if you can definitely dose me up with the plethora of options, so I can try and either yeet through the night or get a solid sleep that where I can't be roused. So ambushes are going to be a problem. But what I want.
Sorry. Why do we need someone to stay asleep?
We need
everybody
everybody
to stay asleep. We need to sleep without dreaming.
When we sleep, we need to be out because Tyrannish can just stroll through dreams like it's a park. And apparently she can do it whenever she likes, whether she's asleep or awake. It's worrying.
Well, yeah, look, we can. I'll probably can cook up some stuff to do that, but we don't want to do it every night. That's gonna have a toll.
We have to.
We're gonna have to place some kind of. I mean, this is why we're on a time limit. We got to be quick, and we're gonna have to think about how we approach things. Possibly sleep in shifts. I don't know. There is one other option I wanted to raise quickly, and let's not dive into this too deep. Let's get on the road, essentially, but. You've got a passenger in your head, right?
I do, and he's rooting about in there every chance he bloody gets. I need to.
And he doesn't. I mean, he's not friends with Tyrannish, right?
No, different. No, we can't. No.
Okay.
No, this creature wants my consciousness erased as much as I want his gone. No.
We also have to make sure that if we knock you out with a bunch of sleeping pills, that we don't leave him, in control of the place.
Well, yes. If anybody skips the sleeping pills, I think I have enough control over my own dreams to tap out. I believe I've done this enough times that I'm not anywhere near as proficient as Tyrannish herself. I'm at a point where. I know when things are not as they should be, and I have a fairly decent control over my own headspace to be able to tap out if I notice anything strange.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, makes sense. On that note, Dave, can either myself or Art take any kind of dream skill stuff now that we've done all the wandering?
Yeah, you can open Dream Lore, which is the Dreamlands lore, which is the sort of knowledge of a bit of it. And Minnie's only just beginning to explore it. You can open that at say 5 to just begin playing around there. And yeah, you've kind of had your attention brought to it. You've had a couple of visits from Minnie, and if you're willing to risk it, you could attempt to start trying to do some of it during your own sleep. If you're willing to risk it.
This is almost a question for Miss Sinclair as much as it is for the Keeper. Are there... Dr. Sam suggests that sleeping tablets are not a long-term solution. Are there ways that we can use that and also find a way to strengthen mental fortitude and doing
absolutely
meditation type thing, something to that effect, like strengthen the mind, use the sleeping pills as a stopgap solution, but work.
I think it's the other way around. I'm going to be honest. I think the sleeping pills are the main solution, and then we can work on meditation, work on improving everyone's ability to protect yourself mentally as a stopgap, because at the moment
I just got to say,
you were not able to even recognize that we were in your dream. It was. I think it's the other way around to begin with.
I don't want to say the sleeping pills are a main solution. They could be for a short amount of time. But again, if we're taking them every
luckily
night,
we only have a
we're
short
gonna
amount of
have a
time
bad
before this continent rises and everybody dies.
Yep. No, fair enough. Let's get cracking then, shall we?
So
One last thing is, I believe we have a state transformation that needs dealing with. Not sure if that needs to be done here or on the way.
Oh, look, we can take it as it comes, I reckon.
This actually might work well for a side plan. To introduce more complexity before we fire in, because that's always good. One thing that occurs to me is that this is also a pretty we currently have the element of surprise against Tyrannish. I don't think that she immediately knows that we're coming for her. We could possibly maintain that, and if we know that she has an information feed, we can corrupt that information feed. So we could play a little bit of let her get glimpses of where we are and deliberately stage those things, you know? If she thinks that we're heading in a different direction, she could potentially be more in the open, and we could lay traps for her with it. Here's a thought. What if we take two different routes? What if two of us will meet, we're in India and we'll rendezvous there and we can rejoin. If you're going to be having some kind of surgery, Ares, you're probably going to be under pretty heavy anesthetic, which should solve that problem. I could go with Minnie and stay up, and we can take a circuitous route that seeds some kind of incorrect direction in Tyrannish's mind.
Mr. Smith.
Yeah.
Are you suggesting a reverse pincer?
I think it might be a regular pincer, unfortunately, but I've come around to the way of thinking. Yeah.
I'm quite proud of you. I think that'll work quite well. That's tactically quite sound.
Two routes will take slightly longer because we'll take a circuitous journey. The two of you will take slightly longer so that you can pause and do the procedure that you need. We'll rendezvous in India, pick an easy point, and ideally we know where to go from there. And once we're in the country, we can start to branch out.
Do we want to do an initial investigation? Keeper, let us roll, please, to see if we can work out where would be the most advantageous place to meet. Yes, you, Dave.
Oh yeah, it'll take us a while to get planes and everything ready to get out of this isolated camp. So yeah, maybe.
I mean, you can just pick a port somewhere central, and then there's trains all across the region. You'll be able to travel from there. If the idea is just to get moving, you could all shake hands here in the morning after you just wake up, go and get your things, and all just get on the road and be like, "We will see you in however many days it takes us to get there." And then both do research on.
Is it safer to just not even say how we're getting to?
They can't find them in the dream.
That's a very good point. Yeah, because we don't know where we're going. If none of us
that we don't coincidentally get on the same ship.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's kind of hilarious.
I like that.
Okay, all right. You will meet there when you meet there. And what, Dr. Sam, you can have rigged, you can design, so you'll be traveling with your larger thing. You can set you can preset a radio channel on your flying machine or something, so that once you're all there, they will every night when the lark cries, and send out a ping to where they are, and you can all recalibrate.
Because that way, if someone gets their dreams invaded, then at least they won't know where the other two are.
I like it. I think that's cool.
That's good.
All right, so the idea is Hubert and Minnie are going to go in one direction. Sam and Carter are going to go in the other. While Sam and Carter are traveling, they're intending to have some very extensive surgical procedures.
No.
Oh.
Incorrect.
Nuts.
Hubert, and you're correct up until we're leaving at the same time. Hubert and Minnie are going to take a slightly more circuitous route, giving Sam and Ares time to perform a procedure, then get on their way by a more direct route. So we intend to hit there at the same time.
Scenic route.
Yeah.
Hubert loves the scenic route.
You can do a boat, you can do a ship, you can do a cruise.
There's so many options.
Oh, but don't tell us.
No.
So that's
not going to tell you the route.
Okay, I dig it.
Yeah.
I dig it. So as far as while traveling, what would people like to accomplish? Minnie and Hubert, I imagine if you're planning on just staying awake for this full period, is that the idea?
We'll bring some sleeping pills from Sam.
Yeah, I bring some of the supplies from Sam. I will probably do a couple of like day sleeps while Minnie's up, so that I'm available. We kind of toggle.
Yeah, you do shifts. You do shifts.
Yeah.
And I can sleep as long as I'm awake while Minnie needs to sleep, and I can. At this stage, I'm not in danger of being attacked, I think.
Sam, can I ask you to make a pharmacy roll just to set everyone up with the pills most appropriate for the situation? Even on failure, you're going to give them stuff that'll knock them the hell out. It'll just possibly be, you're concerned about long-term effects. It'll be hard to wake them, things like that.
I'm already concerned about long-term effects. Let me just say that. So when everything goes terribly poorly, I get to say, "I told you so."
Say, I knew this would happen.
That's fair.
That's fine. I accept that.
Permissible.
Okay.
Did that go through?
Yeah, they did. That's pretty good.
Success.
Nice.
That's not bad.
Hubert,
It's not bloody bad.
For Hubert, you have
pretty
to
good.
dose him from like your horse chart from here on out because he's massive.
Horse,
Hubert is
elephant.
permanently on
Is my
ketamine.
highest skill.
But you can divide out, little piles of tablets to everyone, and for the period that you are suggesting this, you believe this should be okay. Additionally, with a hard success, they're wakeable. It basically, as far as anyone who takes these perspective, it will be kind of go to sleep, black, wake back up, a little bit groggy, but you can be roused. Failure would have been, really slow to wake, completely out of it during the night, things like that.
Can I get a stimulant as well to try and do the other way?
Oh, to stay awake for it'll be short bursts. I mean, that you will feel effects of after just a couple of days.
Absolutely,
But yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Like if I can have both, it just gives me the option.
Yeah, I think that's
right.
if Sam's happy to diagnose, to prescribe it, that can be done without a roll.
I'll provide it with good directions, good education about how to use it safely and when.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, look, he's a responsible adult, and I literally could not stop him if I tried.
Okay. All right. With a pocket full of loosely jangling pills, Minnie and Hubert head off for destinations vaguely known. You'll chart a boat or something and make your way, and en route you'll stop in regularly to check the news, do a little bit of research, thumb over your books, and occasionally maybe Minnie opens her minds during quiet nights at sea to let Tyrannish have a little look around and see where they're going, and we'll do a roll for this, see if you can maybe even seed false information, suggest that you're going somewhere totally different. Jim?
Yeah, cool.
Quickly, Dave, you asked if I had any plans on the thing. I don't think I'll make a roll. I stand ready basically to assist Minnie, but if just from some narrative objectives, if I can achieve them, I will, at the closest point that we get for whatever the trip is to my dearest mum, I'll send a letter or, call.
Yep.
And I will leave the orb that we have, because we can't take it from a sizing perspective.
Spaceship.
The spaceship.
Oh,
Flying
yes.
machine.
Airship. I will leave the orb and a couple of notes somewhere where detective backup character can get them, so that we have reinforcements that can arrive anywhere.
That's right.
Because they get the orb.
We seeded that we were going to hide a bunch of stuff under one of the floorboards of the cabin or something, or oh, hang on. Does your summer camp have one of those ye oldie 1920s boat sheds? It's always locked with things under canvas that look all creepy, and someone definitely gets murdered in there.
Yes, and that is where they can earn one of the 5 badges, and they will need all of them to get the information. I build a full scavenger hunt for the detective that alerted us about what happened
while
in
everyone else is packing
Oklahoma.
and getting
I'm
stuff
going to really
ready.
enjoy when investigation and detective backup character rocks in with really high intelligence and is just it's there.
I'm looking at it.
Or really high spot hidden.
Looks at the thing. I'm not doing this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be under the bed.
Hell yeah. Okay. All right. Fantastic. So Minnie and Hubert set off, and I will ask you to make some rolls, but we will actually resolve those after. Your trip, while circuitous, is relatively straightforward. That's the word I was looking for. And Hubert's money paves many paths, so you can just kind of get on with it. You'll travel by boat, by plane, and all manner of transport, and ultimately arrive in India. What's more interesting and currently critical is Lieutenant Carter's transformation and Dr. Sam's assistance with the procedure. As you are currently doing this, if you are making the full jump in, Sam can attempt to preserve some of the skin, but you have not made contact with the god that prescribed this great gift, nor have you found an alternative for disguise just yet. So what I would like to know is, what is the plan? Are we doing a vampire coffin kind of situation to get you there? How are you going to pass as human once this is removed?
Well, the implication that we got was it was possible potentially to use the sort of skin on method, at least to some extent.
I need a quick refresher here. What's our desired outcome here?
So if I understand, there was a couple of different options, but essentially we could try and stop the transformation medically, which is dangerous. We could try and stop the transformation by speaking to Yig, which required doing a ritual and contacting an elder being of the whatever and possibly go mad. So
you can still try and do
risk.
That. You've got a bit of time.
Yeah.
Well, you don't.
I mean, I
I
assume also I could theoretically turn around and be like, "Hey, Yig, turn me back." I don't know if that's possible, but
you could try.
I don't know. Ares doesn't know.
Yig thinks snakes are pretty. You get the impression Yig really likes snakes. There's not huge on people.
I believe we didn't really get the impression we could slow this necessarily. We could just monitor it as it
At this point, it was
continues.
the train is racing forward. You could try and throw yourself off it with all the effects that come with that, or you could just strap in and deal with the destination.
Or it was
the decision was made to let it go forward, let it finish, but also start working on how to disguise it. That was the decision we reached, right?
And then you kind of got a bit more urgency from your meeting with Tyrannus. So options you have presented as you could, the first stop you make in could be in some tiny little bookstore with a contact that Hubert gave you written down in a sheaf of paper. You'll go through the books there and attempt to find a spell that will allow you to retain your humanity during it. The casting of this will be dangerous, and who knows what ill effects there can be, but maybe, just maybe, this will allow you to pass as human. Alternatively, you put some points in disguise, wear really big turtlenecks and a big hat, and see how far that gets you. In remote areas and on ships and things where you can stay in your cabin, maybe, but once you get to a major city, like the one you might be going to in India, that's going to be very, very difficult.
Yeah, I think the idea was that we were going to either accelerate the transformation so that there was a higher chance of being more easily disguised because skin stuff, I don't know. Alternatively, monitor and allow the transformation to progress, but with Sam assisting medically on making sure that it happens in such a way that we have time to do disguise stuff.
Because remember, the transformation principally happens when you take damage and regenerate. So plan A was speed the process, let's get to the end and let's have a solution to deal with that. Plan B might just be monitor progress, stay as you currently are, which is, turtlenecks and high collars, and Sam will just keep an eye on it and don't jump forward, but instead be ready to if you take a bunch of damage and it looks like that's the way things are going.
Yeah, I think having space to prepare as much as possible for the eventual transformation so that can be done in a way that allows for the easiest disguising makes the most sense. Okay. In the meantime, I am also going to look at, because we know that the skin on method is possible, but I don't know whether we got this in or out of character, so forgive me, but I believe there was maybe a suggestion that there were other ways that they disguised themselves that weren't just that.
I'm happy for that to be in character. You'd have the sense. You've seen different methods and stuff, maybe. So
I think from Ares' perspective, it's definitely about it's tactical. It's doing it right. It's getting all of the intel possible and ensuring that once the process is finished, all of the information is there for like, all right, this is how we proceed from this point forwards. This is like, you know, what options are available for disguising, whether medically or, you know,
Sure.
Physically or whatever it is.
So are you going ahead with the procedure while still in camp and then planning to deal with it en route, or are you keeping an ear out for information and that'll be the role you make as you go, and then once you find something out, planning to go ahead with the procedure then?
Medical opinion, Sam.
Oh no, it's your choice. I mean, look, I'll always do a better job if I've got a place to put my feet and my tools down. You know, it's not easy to perform surgery on a plane or a boat, especially if we're trying to be subtle about it. So, look, I think we should do as much as we can here. But yeah, it's really up to you if you want to speed this up now or just hide it over.
The issue I have is we have no way to disguise it currently, and we need time to work out what that's going to look like.
No, yeah. I mean, is that something we should look at? Some kind of, you know, just aesthetic surgery to mask it now? There must be something. What are we dealing with here, Keeper? It's just like scales.
No, you will be a full you'll be a serpent person. There's like a, you know, possibly the nub of a tail that's going to have a little bit of a pop out. Your head will physically change shape. You could go, you know, the Invisible Man and wrap Carter in bandages and tell people that they're a horribly burnt victim. But, you know, people that get a peek under it will spot something other. You are turning into a serpent person, but without some of the innate and taught knowledge of how to pass as human presently. You know, your mother never told you. So you will need to find that out another way. Now, so the options you have are you could try and stop in somewhere and do some research that might allow you to get in contact with Yig or just another serpent person. You could also, I mean, as we sort of zoom out here, you could say that, you know, you got some insight on other serpent persons. You could try and get in contact with one and then beat the hell out of them until they tell you how to look like a person. You could go more mundane routes and, you know, get full, like, almost actor's makeup, very well disguised. It won't necessarily pass up on a close inspection, but that would let you, you know, continue on. You could open your mind and make a last-minute bargain with Tyrannish to give you the ability to pass as human in exchange for who knows what power. Or you could just allow this, you could not progress it and deal with it as it comes. At the moment, you are kind of taking the jump forward with the hope that you will preserve Carter's skin, and then once you get the spell and the means to do it, you can pass as Carter once more. You do not have that skill yet currently, and it is not a given that you will get it. You will need to make some rolls and accomplish that.
You are muted, Jackson.
That's what we want. We want to get the skin off you. But the question is whether I can do that here.
I mean, I think the implication is yes, but the other implication is if we do that now, I have no way of appearing like myself.
Well, it's not even an implication, it's straight up the fact, yeah.
No, we take the skin off you, you scale up, and then we put the skin back on.
Yeah, but we can't do the last bit.
There is a magical component to that.
Yeah.
It is not just...
Damn it.
Yeah.
Always
now,
magic.
There is the spontaneous use of the Cthulhu Mythos skill that I'm more than happy to use here. So the two of you can spend 3 days and 3 nights without sleep. Sam works on it, removing piece of Carter, laying it on top of a mannequin, and then as thunder claps, he steps back. Carter has become a full serpent person, and then invoking the chant of Yig, bathed in serpent's blood, you try and do the impossible. Will it succeed? Who knows? It'll probably go ahead, but there'll be horrible, horrible ramifications, and you'll become something other. That'd be pretty cool.
I'll be honest, that's a strong pitch. Pitch.
If I can read the sort of paths, it seems that we've got an option which is basically, do we rip off the flesh band-aid now so that we don't have to plan around the issue, and then hope that at some point we get a magic button to resolve it. I think that if we do it now, we solve some problems in that we stop worrying about some of the potential downsides of more injury and whatever. But if we don't, we probably have a better chance of finding the magic button. It's a bit like cut off the limb early or like do work to protect it, hoping that we can fix it, sort of thing. With my reading, but I might. Yeah.
Well, that's it. Do we want to get the skin off now and hope we can find a way to put it back on so we don't have to worry about it? Or
Airy skin, maybe?
keep it on Schrodinger's skin. So we keep it on now and hope that we find the way to take it off and put it back on safely before things go bad.
What do you need your skin for?
You have some time. I mean, you have some time to do some research, and
You have some time.
you've got a bit of time because we're taking the scenic route. That gives you some time before you can even leave, and that so you've got a minute.
Very well, we'll take a minute.
It's really what you want, yeah.
Yes, I think currently jumping in feet first with no knowledge of how we're going to make this work is stupid. If we at least have some tiny...
So you're for it. It's stupid idea, terrible idea.
Let's
all
do
for it.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no, that's just me.
Roll your dice.
I think without having any pathway forward, like any idea of where to start looking or where to go, it makes no sense to do this. If there is an inkling of something that we can follow, then we can jump in feet first. But I think research, round of research, decide.
Okay.
Work out whether there's any further information we can get, whether that's locating a serpent person to beat the shit out of or finding something.
Sure.
So what research can we do in this delightful, picturesque summer camp?
Limited.
Serpent
I would
surgery.
presume that you probably get on the road, but I guess you were saying you wanted to do the ritual here. You'll probably need to go to a local, you'll go to the closest, biggest city, and then from there you'll travel to the closest, spookiest, smallest city, and there you'll find the information that you're after. All right, well then from Carter and Sam, why don't you give me a... Cthulhu Mythos. I could also I can see library use, but I think we're beginning at hard and going from there. One of you can roll and assist the other if you like.
What are you rolling, sorry?
Library use. Or occult I could see
Damn
too.
If I were to argue medicine, I would be looking in actual mundane medical stuff.
Medicine, you'll
I?
definitely medicine will come up, but that'll be kind of part of the procedure.
If I'm rolling for medicine, it's like I'm trying to come up with my own version of doing it rather than finding out how the serpent people doing it.
Yeah,
which probably is not what we want.
You also
did go through that period of trying to work out, because we had the incident in Caduceus where you stitched someone's skin back on in the hope that you could find.
I take it back. I think you could do medicine.
I've sprinkled some. I think I've had two periods of saying, I'm just working on the skin stuff.
I agree. You really have.
You ask me, what are you doing for the next few days? And I go, I'm working on the skin stuff. Don't worry about it.
I think medicine absolutely suits. I completely walk that back.
I would like to spend, while Sam's doing the research, may I make a Cthulhu Mythos roll and say that I'm essentially meditating and trying to get in tune with my body essentially, and the connection with Yig and all of the weird kind of spooky bullshit.
Yeah, sure. What's your? Are you attempting to contact Yig?
I don't think it's a direct contact. I want to speak to Yig specifically, although sure, if that is if I fumble, by all means, something terrible. I think it's more this transformation is happening, which means there is a connection to Yig, and via that connection, is there some subconscious knowledge that I am also being the physical transformation, but I'm assuming my brain is also if it's not just, if my DNA is changing, everything is changing. Are we dealing with epigenetic knowledge, like stuff that these serpent people can technically do on a genetic level.
Okay,
and
I'm
not
with
so
you.
much
I'm with
they're
you.
taught how to control, or they're taught how, it's the same way that like children will learn to walk.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. Yeah, is there some
If they're taught,
level
it
of
will be
this
easier, but they
innate?
can.
Okay.
Yeah.
I really like it. I'm actually going to say that's not Cthulhu Mythos, because you're not trying to necessarily get into it. No, I'm going to say that's probably an intelligence roll, but probably you're looking for an extreme as you basically look backwards through an imposed, a new, you're understanding your own fresh genetics. Okay, so medicine from Dr. Sam beginning at hard, intelligence from Carter beginning at extreme. I mean, it begins and ends at extreme.
Okay, well, you got that.
Strong start. So, Carter, you kind of look inwards and begin to get a sense for things, and you are kind of tapping into a more serpentine brain set. You can kind of, focus in on that, and you think that there might be you can invest magic points, basically push your own power into something, and you think that if Dr. Sam can go ahead with the procedure, there's a chance this just might work. You'll basically, the two of you, be improvising and creating a fresh new spell on the fly. But Dr. Sam will need the medical knowledge to do so. And at this point, Sam, I would suggest this is probably looking like pushing the roll.
Or locking it.
Well, now.
Locking it down to 36 would be an investment of 62 points.
Oh, yeah.
I've got that.
If you push it,
11.
this will be going ahead one way or the other. The skin's coming off. It's what style it goes back on in. I will say, even on a success, we're looking at a kind of a botched, slightly strange
Honestly,
version.
This is the same position we were in before Iceland. Dr. Sam was doing some medical nonsense on Carter. I failed the roll. And I said, I'll give you all my luck if you keep me safe in the next chapter. We've just come back. Like, I spent the chapter building my luck back up to 73.
It's a circle.
And it all worked out. So fire again.
Or this time, do you want to, or is this time it's a push one? It's one in, one out.
I don't like pushing it at all. The skin's coming off. Let's do it right.
So you're going to spend.
I am inclined.
Holy shit, dude.
To give you, what did you say?
62.
Yeah, 62 points. And it means, I'm in the instant death range.
We get what we
Again,
want.
is Carter going to keep me safe? Is Carter going to stop me from dying in the next chapter?
Yeah.
If so, 62 points of luck.
I think we've established that Ares will fully and always put their entire body between Sam
That's
and
right.
anything bad.
We have established that, so I'm going to count on that. I'm going to rely on that. I'm going to take that for granted, and you're going to take my 62 points of luck.
Holy shit. Okay. All right.
I mean, the exchange is going to be something terrible happens to Sam, and I use my 70-something points of luck to be like, no.
What are you doing with all that luck? All right.
I kill things. That's my thing. Is I wait to get those extreme successes so that something big dies in a vat in one shot.
Great.
Okay.
No, yeah. In that case, we're the dream team. This will go flawlessly. I cannot see anything off this plan.
So
A hard success, Dave, through sheer expertise and force of will. I rolled a hard success.
okay. Over the course of several days, Carter spends it sort of meditating and looking internally into their own sort of newly injected genetic past. Dr. Sam travels into town several times to get tome after tome, and Sam, you have that sinking feeling that this can only go wrong. It's going poorly. You look at all this research and what you're attempting, you find things about like severe burn victims and skin grafts that have been done, but actual complete surgical removal of the skin, preservation thereof, and then reapplication of it is well beyond the scope of current medical ability. However, you've done some research on other you've seen some of the magical changes done by the Serpentine, and you actually have some of the tools through which they do it. One thing that you will learn is the venom that was stabbed into Shapiro so long ago that basically caused skin to bubble up and separate. This happened to another character as well, though I can't remember who it is actually what the serpents use to get skin off of other people so that they can then cast a spell, and you are able to find a small vial that you had yourself, and you can use that. That will be part of this procedure. You also have the large magic hot tub schematics, which were able to heal bodies, and they were placing in the massive serpentine overseers, which were those massive size.
We also
lizards.
got some of the goop.
You did,
We got
exactly.
Sando and the goop.
I got a
Exactly.
everything.
And so going into like the hot tub or like the pool for like this summer camp forgets you re-engineer it, change the pumping system, and sweat away until this too will be your laboratory. After days of research on a cool and starless night, the two of you begin the procedure. Sam, I remember like hands shaking a little bit and then steadying as you pick up the scalpel, dressed all in sort of smocks and covered, ready to turn Carter into something other. Do either of you have any final words or comments before the procedure begins?
I think you're going to have the best summer camp story in any room. After this.
There's something rather poetic about all this. Because, as I think I said a while back, we both went through the same awful thing. And you came out one side, determined to learn everything you could about medicine so that you could save as many people as possible. And I went out the same experience, determined to know everything I could so that I could protect people and teach them to protect themselves. And really, all we're doing here is taking this alien knowledge and doing the same thing. So,
yeah.
You're the best doctor and finest man I know. Good luck.
That's very kind. Look, with you here, I feel like I don't need luck.
You're my best friend, Sam. I don't have faith in life, but I have faith in you. Shall we?
Let's.
All right. And Sam begins the procedure. Now, Carter, you will have to be awake and conscious through all of this because your knowledge of the yourself is part of what is fueling this. So as Sam steps forward with the scalpel and makes the first incision, top of the forehead, and begins to draw it down towards the nose to peel it all away, you go through more pain than you might have thought imaginable, except you have been in painful situations before, and I truly believe through sheer force of will you're able to bite your tongue and stay in this state.
I mean, specifically not bite my tongue, that's what you want to avoid doing, but I definitely bite down on something rather solidly. I would say I have taken a full, torso of grenade shrapnel before and had that pulled out of me piece by piece. It's not, I have been shot a fair number of times. This is not the first time Sam has used a scalpel to carve into my flesh, and we did that awake as well. I'm assuming there's some kind of topical something that takes the edge a little off, but at a certain point it's like there's only so much edge that can come off.
It is just pain for minute after minute as Sam works as quickly as he can, but unwilling to compromise on quality, will slow at key points as he sort of carves around your collarbones and then peels the skin away, keeping it as intact and whole as possible. At key points, he'll sever it and leave an entire section over on the side where it floats in this sort of goopy pool of healing material, moving slightly almost on its own, and then returns to the next section. From Carter's perspective, all you can see is the sort of slowly blinking light up above you as you dip in and out of conscious and awareness. And Dr. Sam, what you see is the true form of Carter that's lurked underneath the skin for some time. Eventually, as this finishes, laid out on a metallic slab, sort of half drenched inside this pool water, is a serpent person. Carter, you have full scales covering the entirety of your body. Your face is a different shape. You have a tail just beginning to bulge out. Sam, as you work along the hands and basically deglove their form and peel it back, you will see you can sort of squeeze on the knuckles and claws can come out and then retract back in. They have huge fangs which deposit up into their sort of cheeks and then can drop down with speed, and their eyes are permanently changed to be serpentine, sort of yellowed and slitted across their face.
I feel like the most gory word in the English language is deglove.
It is. It's horrible. And you basically do that to the entire body. Carter, as you get to the end of this and as Sam steps back, exhausted from his work, your skin is laid out on the side of it, and you feel a deep biological urge to devour it.
Oh.
That is what your body is telling you.
Fine.
Sam, do you
I
say?
will unhinge my jaw.
No, I mean, we're going to use that. We're going to use that.
I think this is going to be fine, Sam.
What?
Trust
no,
me.
We're going to keep it. We're going to keep the skin for your to put it back on eventually. That's the plan, isn't it? Isn't that the plan?
Something is telling me this is the right thing to do.
It might just be bad instincts. Oh God.
No, I get that, but that's like a biological urge because you don't want to lose the nutrients when you're out there in the wild. That's what the snakes do. It's like don't lose the nutrients, put them back in. But hey, you got plenty of nutrients on the way, buddy. Have a milkshake for now, and I'm going to start putting the skin away. All right, just we want to keep it.
Ares isn't stupid. And did get a pretty good success on their, like, what the hell is going on. Can I get a vibe for whether this is just a biological urge or whether this is, like,
this is part of the ritual?
Part of, like... Huh?
Both. It's both. It's a biological urge, that's where you're getting from, but it's part of the ritual. This is the next step.
Then I will just look at Sam and say, I trust you. Trust me.
Alrighty. I get the impression this is where the medicine takes a back seat, and
I will also fully dive into the pool of goop to do this.
Yes.
Just fully in, like, almost, if you ever seen like a cat go full like slinky mode where they sort of like are kind of fully like either not so much when they're hunting something, but when they like are trying to avoid being seen, and it almost looks like a little river of fur. That's kind of like, it's just a little river of scales just for like up and then bloop straight in.
Yes. Carter vanishes into the tub of goop and skin, only emerging every now and then for sort of slitted nostrils to flare as your mouth drops open and just sheets of your old skin are slowly devoured. It's very what is it, Saturn devouring his son, the biblical image of him like chewing through it as you physically
like
consume
Kronos.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
As you physically consume your previous form, piece by piece it drops away, you swallow it through, and you are something other. You will take a ton of damage throughout this, but you can heal it throughout the travel, so I'm not going to sweat it. You will also need to invest a number of magic points into the ritual, but again, these will come back. For context, you have effectively improvised and cast a known spell to the servant persons through which you can devour skin. It's actually a more evolved spell, and then you can re-invoke it through magic to take on another form at different periods. Several things are going to happen for your new form. One, you now have claws which can be popped out and retract. They are effectively, it's a D3 plus your damage bonus. You also have 2 huge fangs which you can attack with. That skill starts at your fighting brawl, and it deals a D6, and then when you bite someone, once per basically has to regenerate, you can inject venom into them. They have to make a con roll, or they take a dick load more damage. You will also increase your dexterity by a D10, and you will set your appearance to 0. It is no longer relevant. You are not human.
Okay. Do I get to keep when I am in Ares' form?
Yes.
Do I keep my...
It's basically just an asterisk because you will become Ares. So yes, you will effectively function under Ares when they get there. Okay. I need you to make a sanity roll for me, please. Actually, Sam, I need you to make one as well.
Honestly, yeah.
I'm really, really showing off my the many influences on me. But all I can think about whenever we get into this topic is Tobias from the Animorph series and the sort of bird thing. I could be like, oh wow, yeah. It's
Same.
like, yeah.
Okay. I'm going to do. It's going to be a D3 for Sam, and a D6 for Carter. And that's for the transformation. And then for effectively casting the spell, Carter, it is a D10 sanity and 5 power. Just gone. The 5 power is permanently invested in this, but you basically have a stored alternate identity.
Can Art use the pulp luck to knock back some of the sanity to potentially avoid insanity, or
you're not gonna,
insanity?
it's going to effectively fade. You're immediately going into a period on the boat where you can work through all the immediate trauma.
Work through oral issues.
Yeah, exactly.
So, sorry, just to confirm, I lose 5 power straight out.
Yep, that's just gone.
I have gained 3 dexterity, so my dexterity is now 83.
Nice.
My appearance while I'm in this form is... Yep.
Nothing? Nada?
And then you want me to lose a D10 and a D6 of sanity,
That's
is that
right.
correct?
That's right.
Man, I would have loved that D10 roll to be my sanity, but oh well. 7.
Okay. 7 points.
Which is... For some reason, it's not showing me my temporary... my permanent, sorry.
Don't need to sweat it because it's going to reset,
fine.
but this will be when you go into the with this new base. I'll also give you some detail on the spell, but effectively, Carter, it takes you about... It's a D10 minutes for you to change shape, and each time you do it, it is going to be 5 magic points and a D6 of sanity to transform state, which depending on which one you want to be in. Your default from here on out is Serpent rather than human.
Okay.
And even when you are in human form, it is effectively an illusion.
Okay. Is there any method by which I make that sanity easier to deal with, or not? Like a repetitive doing of this? I'm assuming it
unfortunately, repetitive doing of it will more just drive you further into madness. Truthfully, you would default to being in your serpent person form, only transforming into something other when you need to. And when you're in other, you remain that shape until you take damage, and basically it sees through the illusion. So it lasts pretty much indefinitely, I think. I'll double check that. While you're in the human form until you take damage or otherwise are incapacitated.
It's battle mode. It's battle mode, Carter. When you awaken the beast, you awaken serpent, monster that will bite the hell out of you.
I mean, I guess my confusion is whether I can stay as Carter and that's an illusion essentially, and I still have access to other stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but then like if I take damage, it breaks it, and I have to go back to Carter because that really means I take a lot of goddamn damage.
That's right. The main reason why you would revert it is because you can take on other forms. You now have the ability to consume the skin of others and look like them too. Yeah.
But I can pretty much permanently stay as Carter if I want to.
That's right. Until you take enough damage to reveal the form underneath. Yeah, that's right.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess don't take too much damage then. So would I need to lose another D6 to be Carter, or was that part of the whole thing? Was that...
Part of it.
All right, cool. So I am Carter pretty much...
effectively casting it the first time, yeah.
Yeah. Easy.
All you need to do is only take damage when you're going to be killing enough Mythos creatures to regain some sanity. And then you'll always be at a net gain or a net stable, which.
Okay.
The other thing I could do is I can always spend double luck to halve the sanity loss, which I could do now as well, but I don't think there's any reason to.
Beyond that, though, and in your new form, after a short period of rest, you'll be able to escort. Sam can sort of escort, Calcutta is still processing and adapting towards the trains, boats, and planes that you will need to travel all the way across to India. As you go, I'll actually go back to Hubert and Minnie and ask you to make a... Minnie, do you want to make a library use roll for me, please? To just keep on top of the news? See if you can track down where it is you're headed. Okay. Nicely done. So... with a success, you are going to notice two things. One is, as you're like, you've sailed across to somewhere in Europe, I imagine.
We're going to take a train up north first. We'll go via Canada, I think. That might be nice.
And then across and
Canada
down.
Seems lovely.
Yeah. Who knows? The red line will take us where we need to go.
Route.
And en route, at one point, when you're stopping in at... like a train station or something, getting ready to transfer. You don't have time to hit the library, but you find some like crappy tabloid stand, and inside it, next to all the ones that talk about, because also they talk about like cryptids and things, and normally they're nonsense, but one of them is talking about a rumor that Rose Meadham, disgraced heir, has been seen in Calcutta, India, where her reasons are unknown, but photos are beginning to be taken, and boy, she's basically resurfaced. This happens every now and then, but she's kind of fallen out of the favor, so this isn't even like a huge rumor. This is just like someone getting a little bit of screen time. Following up on that, you do a little bit of research into Calcutta, and you will find this handout, which I'm passing across to all of you now. And if I can get Minnie, if I can ask you to read it.
Love a handout.
Let me make it big.
Grand.
Okay.
Oh, no, we're on the wrong one.
Ooh, ancient treasure to go on show. Calcutta, India. The recently discovered Cobra Crown is to be publicly on show at the India Museum in Calcutta. The fabled Cobra Crown, thought by historians to be nothing more than a fable, by fabled Cobra Crown, has come into the possession of the museum. Head curator at the India Museum, Mr. Kumtekar, says he will be pleased to be able to prove to all the so-called experts wrong when the piece goes on display. Mr. Kumtekar was unable to confirm the opening date of the exhibition, but assured us that plans are underway to exhibit the Cobra Crown in Calcutta soon.
Cool.
Nah, I don't like it. It's a red herring. I know it.
Let's go to Delhi.
You're not here.
I think we got some. I'll say quickly, Dave, if while Minnie's doing all this real work, I might I'm just deciding on route. If we go up to Canada first, I do think, and then to the coast of Canada, I imagine would have some kind of quick trip to France. From there, we can board the Orient Express as suggested by chat.
Yes, I was just going to ask that.
A quick diversion to run the entirety of the Horror on the Orient Express. Let's just assume you guys are pulp characters. So in the background, it all happened. Hubert and Minnie single-handedly resolved that campaign. You get off at, where does it end, Jim? It's in Istanbul where it ends, or Constantinople's the... Yeah. You guys get off there exhausted, drained. You have seen such horrors, and then, off to India, back to the quest we were doing.
Calcutta.
In all seriousness, though, it will go through... Switzerland, and I divert to encounter my mother surrounded by her pikemen, and then I reboard.
That's right. We put your mother up in a castle. Yes.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Does she have Morsel with her? Or is Morsel still in the house in New York defending it from any attackers?
No, she would have taken Morsel with her, and I like to imagine, like we stop in Lausanne or something, and get tea by the lake, and the pikemen have like patches where they've been scratched by Morsel. One of them has lost a finger that got infected, and they're just like shaking a little bit.
Hamster.
Yeah, perfect. Just haha cameo.
No, that's fantastic. So over the course of days, weeks, I know not, the Hubert and Minnie run a windboat passage, taking themselves all the way across to finally India and the city of Calcutta. As you're traveling, Minnie, would you like to try and basically not take the pills one night and allow Tyrannish to get an impression of where you are?
Absolutely. Because I'm fairly decent with the dream stuff, I feel like I can probably I might do a pill skip and try and get some lucid dreams going, and basically just dream about Switzerland and France and just all the places that we are.
What fun we're
Which
having.
are nowhere near India. Yeah.
Go ahead and can you give me a power roll as you're doing this? Okay. You open your mind and, that night, we won't go into the whole thing, but, it takes you a beat to find yourself. And as soon as you arrive in your own consciousness, you can feel the impression of Atos. And also, you get the sense of like something stalking outside your door, not too far in. You focus yourself on where you focus on where you currently are and also try and seed it in, but you will get no insight into what Tyrannish is doing, and she will get no insight of where you are, your true destination is. And you do sort of softly see that you are in Switzerland or somewhere else, northern.
Tyrannish also gets very confused when she beholds the fury of the Brotherhood of the Skin, and is trying to figure that whole web.
Yeah, hamsters.
Yeah.
We're zeroing in on the hamsters in Switzerland.
It's the true horror. But ultimately, you'll...
On my way out, I'd also like to give Atos a bit of a mental kick.
just.
Yeah.
Yeah, he deserves it. He was getting a little uppity.
It was getting a little high and mighty there.
There is also,
Atos is on my side of this backseat.
Yeah. But eventually you will arrive in Calcutta. Sam and Carter take a longer route, but a quicker route, but the timing lines up where after a, not too long a period and by such marvelous convenience, you will all arrive in the city with not too long a barrier between. They were able to get some secret message across to you as they were traveling, and Hubert and Minnie, you meet them at the docks when they arrive. The city is absolutely heaving. It is covered in regular trade and people coming and going. Buses and cars heave along the streets, and trams rocket past with people everywhere. Even though you've narrowed this down to a city, it's still much more than that. There's so many people inside, and the scrap of information you have to go on is of the museum, which I plan to check out tomorrow. But first step will be to check into a hotel and get yourself somewhere to stay. With the four of you reconvened, you can reset all of your sanity points, health, kick it off from the get-go. You travel across the city in search of a reservation, ultimately arriving at the Great Eastern Hotel, which sits high in the city of a small hillock, and with cars racing before it and a small line of people traipsing inside carrying baggage from some recently arrived bus with a host of tourists inside it. As the four of you head in and check in to your rooms, what is the plan? I said you'd go and check it out tomorrow. It's actually probably only like midday. You could go and check out the museum later tonight. You could get some rest and, just adjust to the city. You could... What are the four of you going to do?
I think the first thing we would like to do today is kind of sort out some disguises, because Tyrannish knows what we look like, and before we go poking around the museum, she definitely knows that that's a thing that's happening. Mm-hmm. So whether it's real or whether it's a baited trap, I think we do what we can to change our appearance, which for one of us has gotten significantly easier. But for the rest of us, we may need more traditional disguises.
I also think that, we don't know if Tyrannish knows that we got the follow or not. This might be the only one that we ever come in really stealth to.
Exactly. So let's fucking nail it. Let's change what we look like and take this as a very kind of, we won't go straight to the museum. We'll do a couple of laps outside. We're going to take this one as stealthy as possible, because it's the only time that we actually have a leg up.
Two other quick things. First of all, I encourage everyone watching to Google the Great Eastern Hotel in Calcutta, which I love doing because it's a real place, and there's photos from the 1920s, and it's pretty cool. There's old stuff. Anyway, I am relatively well traveled. I'm into kind of seeing artifacts in museums and things like that. Have I heard of this curator? Can I try to verify whether this might be a baited trap? Is this kind of artifact is there a good reputation?
Yeah.
Can I make a credit rating
You
check?
could-
Basically?
the easiest thing to do would be go to the museum and ask around. You don't have direct contacts here. You haven't spread that far. You could go to the museum and ask around, or you could go to, there'd be a British museum in the same area. You could go and ask with them about the reputation of the other. See if one side wants to you know, give an update on their I guess, competitors.
I think we'll hold off. Let's do disguises first, and let's just go to the museum. Probably figure out from there.
Okay. All right. So, as you're all checking in, Smith can pay for and organize you all rooms, and then you head up the stairs. The suites are very comfortable, and Hubert, you are more than capable of accommodating one for each person. But as you all go in, you will first, you unpack your things and then get ready to head out for the day. So you all reconvene in Hubert's room, where his, clothes are unpacked. He's begun to set things away into cupboards and things, not knowing how long you'll be there. You're sitting around the table with a map sprawled out across it. Hubert's got his back to the window, and the others are all seated and looking at the map, and then occasionally looking at one another. You're talking about the museum, how you're going to get there, what the first steps are going to do. When you see, let's say Carter, you're sitting right across from him, Minnie as well. There is a boot dangling just outside the window, as if from the floor above.
Oh god, this might be the most revealed. We get caught right away. Oh my god.
What?
There's like a boot just dangling from outside the window, and it's kind of scrabbles a little bit at the glass.
Like it's hung over like a power line?
No, you sort of step out. No,
Hubert,
it's like it's just aside, and then you see there's trousers on it. There's a head. There's a leg. It sort of scrabbles at the shoe a little bit.
It's a shoe.
And then you see
Hubert,
lowers
shoot.
down a little bit, and there's a guy hanging from the window above, and he just sort of scrabbles a little bit.
Going to go over, open the window, and fully yank this fellow into the room. And go, what do you want?
As you go to open the window, he lets out a yelp and drops down. He goes straight past you, and you open the window and see him land on the fire escape. It clatters. At the sound of impact on metal, the windows above you swing open, and you see this man go sprinting down the fire escape and begin to bolt out of the street. As soon as you look up, Carter, just in a
Ares is
moment.
pretty fast.
Ares is fast. You see two people looking over. They are thick-necked goons with, tightly fit jackets. And you can see under one, one's clearly got a weapon underneath one of the holsters. They look down, and one of them bellows after him in English, stop, and then goes to make the jump as well. What are the four of you doing? So far, could just be a stranger.
Mm-hmm.
I am fully yeeting myself out of the window and going after this person.
Okay, all right.
I think we stop the goons.
Okay, so Carter, you're going out the window and after them?
I've got my cup of tea, and I've got my cup of tea. So we've obviously got tea and biscuits.
Yep.
I've got my cup of tea, and I'm going to pick up the whole teapot. And this guy is jumping out of the window to hit the fire escape.
Yep.
And as he goes past the window, I want to scalding tea him.
Okay, all right, hell yeah. So what I'll get is I will get everyone's... presumably one of the goons. I will get everyone to make dexterity rolls for me, please, as we jump straight in.
I'm a hot tea goon.
I just think we don't know whose side is. Sometimes the goons are the good guys.
Hey,
sometimes you do get a good
Jackson,
goon.
Sometimes maybe they're all the bad guys.
Have you ever seen what happens when something runs in front of a snake that it thinks it can eat? Do you think it thinks before it moves? I don't think it does.
Have you ever
Something went fast past a window, and the snake in my brain went, fetch. Eat it.
You're fetching the guy, not the girl.
Sorry.
Right.
Both in character and out of character, I was like, what can we do here? Can we get some information? Maybe we send Minnie to sneak up into the room now while everyone's running to see if she can find stuff within it. And then suddenly there's boiling water getting thrown onto somebody.
Oh, okay. So, Dr. Sam, you are actually going to be the first to act. Now, you don't have to do anything. You could try and do a spot hidden psychology. You could scan the street. You could see where they're coming from. It looks like they're in the exact same room as you, the one directly above.
I'm distraught to say, I fail most initiative rolls in this campaign, and the one time I get hard success, I'm like, I don't know, I don't want to bother anyone. Come on, leave me alone, leave me out of it. So yes, I will roll. I'd like to try to determine the quality of these goons, the caliber of these goons.
Do you give me a psychology roll?
Because not all goons.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
There's some great goons out there.
There's some good goons.
Cuban had some goons for a while.
Not all
goons,
but definitely these ones.
Definitely these guys. I'm going the other way to Sam, and I'm assuming that everybody's the bad guy.
Oh, you got a very high psychology, Sam.
And assume.
So, Sam, you are right. Not all goons are bad, but with the success, you're pretty sure these ones are, particularly because as one of them tracks the man fleeing down the ladder, its reactions are lightning fast, and you see for a moment flick of a forked tongue. These are fully serpent persons hiding as
Serpent
humans.
goons.
These are serpentine goons, the worst kind. You can call out to the others and share that. But what I would like to know is,
that's what I do.
Are you jumping in to what is going to be a chase, or are you staying here and possibly going up to the room or stopping goons, or what?
If there's a weapon near, I want to stay near the weapon in case anyone gets shot. So no, I don't think I'd like to give chase, but I would like to. Yeah,
I'm not quick.
If I can subtly warn folks in the room that hey, those. Watch out! Watch out for the goons.
Okay, perfect. We're gonna go across to Carter now.
Yeah.
What would you like to do?
Go
Sorry,
get
I don't know if
the
the
way.
mic. I don't know if the mic mixed that up. I said watch out for the goons.
Disgusting.
Big smile.
I attack Dr. Sam.
Carter, what would you like to do?
Unnatural, like, crack round of the head to look at Sam. Big smile, fangs to stand, leap out the window after the person who's running away.
Okay, can you please make it'll be a constitution roll to join the chase.
Yeah.
Success.
Constitution. Yeah.
Okay, what is your move rate?
8.
You're at 8, so you are still, so that is going to begin you are still at 8. So noted. Thank you.
Is 8?
8 is standard.
It's-
9 is particularly fast.
It's your strength and your dex have to be above your size.
That's
yeah.
right. That's right.
Man, Ares needs to do just a tiny bit of bodybuilding.
Just a couple.
Just like a single point. If I can get a single point of strength, or if I can lose a single point of size,
Yeah.
So.
and I get smaller.
Yeah, you can. I'm sure Sam
You
can
got a ballpark
accommodate
cut, you gotta pick
removing
one.
some.
Yeah.
That's it.
Is it actually? This is a fun mechanical question. Is it actually possible to like get better attributes by like specifically something like strength or dex by training it?
Nah, it's
In the
more like
core-
you have to kind of inject strange substances and cast obscene rituals.
Sam, strange substances, please.
Well, you have it. Oh no,
it?
actually, that increases size. So Carter leaps out and lands with a clatter on the fire escape. Now it has not been lowered; it is still raised up. And if you want to, you could try and quickly kick it free so that you can go down, noting that everyone that comes after you can also do the same. Or you can do what the fleeing man did and just jump. You can see him now scrambling on the streets and ducking into a side alley as he goes to flee.
I mean, yeah, I'm gonna like grab the side and sort of like swing myself around it to drop down, so that because to like angle myself to the way that he's running. So like, you know, Legolas horse this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, sick. So are you jumping, or are you going for a climb? Maybe jump. All right, hell yeah. All right.
No, I'll do a jump. That's
Okay,
fine.
please give me a jump roll.
50-50 shot. Bang on.
Nicely
Yes.
done. Yeah, you exactly like you said. You sort of swing a leg around, slide half, then leap across onto. There's a stone wall that surrounds it. One foot dances on the stone wall, and then you leap onto the other side, and you're chasing after around the corner as you pursue. Exit stage side street. Now we're gonna go across to
Pursued
Hubert.
by
Pursued by Snake.
Oh, God. Excellent. Shakespeare. I see the direction of the events. I hear goons and I realize what's happening. I would like to go out onto the fire escape and position myself so that people have to get past me if they want to go anywhere.
Okay.
And I'm making up towards to engage the goons.
Okay, so you're gonna stand defensively. They're gonna go next then. So what I will say is, as you step out, why don't you give me a Constitution roll as well, just so we can place you in the order depending on how things bear out. And you can use you have your bonus dice on this.
I do. I didn't expect it to be usable for chasers, but I mean 100%. Yeah, cool. All right, Constitution coming up.
So just move yours.
Failure and
extreme.
No,
Extreme.
That's an extreme.
So that will increase your move rate by 1. Does that bring you to 8 as well?
It will bring me to 8, yeah.
Okay. All right,
well, there you go.
You can enter the mix. So what you do is you stand there and you effectively help to block against these creatures as they come around. They are all on the same move rate as well. They are all on 8. So one after the other, there are 3 of them that come dropping down, and as you've completely blocked the other thing, the fire escape, they're going to attempt to get past you and jump, but you are going to impose a penalty die on each of them as they go. So there is a very real chance of them all just having a little bit of a splat on the ground below.
Is there an option there for not imposing the penalty die but whacking them as they go?
Do you want to grab one of them and to stop one rather than imposing penalty die on all 3? Okay, all right, go ahead and give me a... are you looking to grab and hold, or are you looking to just thump one as they go past?
Let's go for the grab and hold.
Okay, all right, make a roll. Are they going to attempt to dodge?
Quick question.
Yeah.
How big are these 3 individuals?
Normal size. They're large for they are capable
And
and
how
strong looking, but
wide
they
is
are not
this?
supernaturally large.
How
They're
wide is
leaping over
this?
They're coming down one at a
fire?
time and landing and leaping past and stuff. That was if Hubert was just standing and imposing, but if he's going to grab one, then that might slow it.
Yeah. Also, I'm in the same boat as you, Ares. If I just had 60 more points of dexterity, I'd be quick.
Yeah, that's fair. Not everyone can be 80 something dexterity.
Okay.
Success.
They're going to attempt to dodge. And as they come down, you swing across them. It ducks under and tries to leap past. So the first is going to attempt to jump and fail. The second one lands and attempts to go past. I will pose a penalty on this just because of the sheer size of the man. It's going to fail, so no risk of whatever. All right, only one of them lands safely as the first 2 take some damage. As they, oh wow, very uniform, which is nice.
Goons, they behave similarly.
Goons.
They're certainly not being taken out of the fight or anything, but when they land on the ground, it slows them for a moment. They stumble and they're going to waste a turn on the ground before they can continue moving. So you have a chance to catch up with them if you can succeed your own jump. That was Hubert and the goons. We go across to Minnie. What would you like to do?
The one who landed properly,
Yep.
I would like to drop the pot of tea on him. Just lean over and just whoosh, the whole thing.
Can you make
Yeah.
a
In
throw
fact,
roll,
I'm going to pick up the
please?
whole tea tray and just whoosh, just dump it all on him.
That's hilarious. Please make a throw roll.
I'm very bad at this, but you know what? This could work.
Oh, it's great.
This could work.
I reckon the teapot goes plummeting down. It is going to do a d6 max to 6 points of damage to the one that it lands on, and I'm going to stagger him as well. So all three, he's the one, he lands seamlessly. He does the little jump across. He's just behind Carter, and then the teapot slams into his skull. He stumbles forward and just eats it into the ground for the moment. Nicely done. Do you want to enter the chase, Minnie? Or do you plan to stay
No, I'm
here?
going to go upstairs and poke around.
Oh, you're gonna stay here. Sam, also you. Do you want to enter? Or are you gonna hang around here?
Sorry, the goons are chasing? Are the goons?
The goons are chasing the
The goons are
fleeing
getting
man.
chased.
Carter and Hubert are entering in. Also after the fleeing man with the goons sort of in.
Well, yeah, if we're all going.
I'm not
going.
Minnie's
staying.
not presently, but
Oh, you understand?
Could I snap out a
yeah, you can all
would.
yell. Carter's the only one that's
Always.
kind of committed and started racing after.
I'll hiss as quiet. No, not hiss. I will
Just-
whisper as like hushed as I can to Sam. We need to keep this disguise up if we can. Try
Low
and
profile.
keep talk down any of the hotel staff. We're not involved.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Good.
You don't have to listen to me, and I don't frown at you angrily if you don't. It's just a
No, I like that. Let's just like, yeah. I'm going to take
Yeah.
it. I'm going to
Yeah.
take it. So no,
Okay.
I'm not going to commit to the chase. I'm going to work on diverting attention away from this nonsense and away from us.
Sam and Minnie stay inside. Minnie, I presume you wheel around. Do you just scramble up the outside the way he came because the window's open, or do you race up the stairs? Okay.
We're not involved. I'm going to go in internal stairs because it's only one floor. I'll go like internal.
You're sort of doing a really quick speed walk as you make your way to the stairs. And Sam,
I'll pat Sam on the shoulder as we go past and be like, maybe now's the time to make some unreasonable hotel requests. Like, of course we couldn't be involved. We were too busy, asking for extra fluffy towels.
Demanding.
Maybe I'll get to the bar and make a fuss down there.
So, Sam, are you going back down?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to go downstairs to the front desk and see if I can do something.
Okay. All right, so Sam and Minnie both are going to stay in the hotel and head in two different ways. We'll come back to you in just a moment. First, Carter, you see the man. He is on a move of 9 and moving faster. So he's moving twice each round. So catching up is going to take. You're going to have to basically outpace him. He goes sprinting into a side street, and as he goes, he basically slams into like 3 people in rapid succession. These are not empty of people. It's crowded and almost completely to a standstill as he tries to jam his way through with yourself and no longer the goons hot on his tail. He is going to attempt to make a strength roll to jam his way through, and on a failure he is caught for a moment. So he has to use another action to squeeze his way through there and then round the corner on the other side. If you can pass this, you have a chance to gain on him. So he is just 1 ahead of you now. We are across to Carter. It's going to be you. What would you like to do? One of the goons just ate it right behind you as well, if you want to turn and deal with them.
Care about them. To get this kid, or this fleeing man.
He's like a full-grown adult.
Yeah, it's fine.
I did kind of shriek.
Is there an opportunity for me to get so he's just pushed his way through some people and is running down a side street. Is there an opportunity to make this a full-on balcony rooftop? I use decks to try and
yes,
jump and move
absolutely.
and get or can I parkour around people rather than forcing my way through?
One can always parkour. It's written into the rules. So in that case, I think rather than dropping off, you run along the raised stone wall, keeping pace for a moment, and then fully leap to try and you're putting boots on heads for a while. But there's stalls and things that you're scrambling on top of and things. Go ahead and give me a dex roll to try and get yourself through here.
That's a success.
And that is a success. You are now keeping pace with him as he swings around to a skidding stop. You can see dust flying out, and he races down another street.
Does he is he holding anything? Does he have anything on his belt? Is it clear what exactly, was he running from people or?
He's definitely running from them. You do not immediately see anything. You would have to stop and kind of study to get more insight into that, unfortunately. We go across to Hubert.
Okay, fantastic. I would love to just maintain chase if that's all right. Unless I've lost my opportunity, I will vault over the balcony and try and catch up with the ones that I've lost.
Okay, so it's going to be either a jump roll or dexterity to it's hard dex to lower the ladder and go down it.
Is there an option here where I could just eat the damage to go faster?
Yeah, sure. We'll do it still as jump, but what I will do is, so if you fail this, you will, I tell you what, we'll give you a constitution roll after taking the damage to see if you can keep your pace and keep going. This won't reduce the damage, but it will, keep you in the speed. So you will still make a jump roll for me, please.
All right, still making the jump.
You're fine. It's, I presume, not the graceful descent of Carter as you just wham onto the ground.
Is it a tiny bit of the Hulk thing where a couple of the sort of older cobblestoney things just dip in a little as there's a very small divot?
No, if we're going full pulp rooftop chase stuff, I'll do the less graceful one. I jump, fall, but I get caught in a bunch of buttresses and like cloth and boom, 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 bonk, and get back up and keep running.
You come out and you
Couple
look
of
exactly like
styrofoam bricks fall after you.
dressed as just one of them.
Yes,
like jammed up around.
I've got like a cloth across me in beautiful prints. Yeah, that's
Yours,
fantastic.
through every one, James, you need to add a piece of clothing as you go barreling through the stalls and everything. That's hilarious.
And then at one point I run past, I don't get one. I go, ooh, and stop and grab it and put it on, and then keep going.
So
Now we're both.
the goons all spend their turn getting themselves back up onto their feet, but enter the chase. As Minnie and Sam, you both get to like there's elevators that go up or stairs going down. You each push actually, Minnie, you can just take the stairs because it's only one level, and Sam, you push the elevator to open. Minnie, you head up and you're walking across the room. You can see that the door has been fully kicked inwards, and just now another door is opening from someone across the way who's peering out and looking around and probably going to go and try and fetch someone to get help, as they just heard a door getting kicked in, and then yells as people went chasing out into the street. What would you like to do? Do you head just straight for the room, or do you want to try and quiet things down?
The person who's stuck their head out, I think I'm going to smile politely at them and tell them, I'm so sorry for the disturbance. Staff have been notified. Please return to your room.
Are you playing
Not saying that I'm working here, but I'm playing.
But letting it lie. Can you go ahead and give me a fast talk roll, please? And this person will likely speak English.
And if not, you know what? I probably picked up a bit of,
You'll have some. It'll be,
Email.
I think Hindi is the read in the
Yeah, they'll
summary.
have, Come on.
Oh no!
Oh
well.
no.
That's all right.
She.
I'm gonna, I wonder if I might luck this one.
20 points.
20 points?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, it's not a fumble. She's not going to scream. She's going to jam the door back shut and will have gotten a look at you.
Oh, yeah, no, that's all right then. Yep, that's fine. I'll accept that.
You go to talk to her, and she sees you and jams the door shut, and you hear it click closed. And you can
Don't
go
even get
past.
a sentence out. I'm like, there.
Fine.
Yeah.
You head towards the room and make your way inside. Meanwhile, Dr. Sam, you head into the elevator and go down to the lowest level. Just as it is opening, it like slides open, you're like buttoning it tight, and then suddenly you feel the instinct to jam yourself into the corner because walking into the lobby comes Rose Meadham. She's flanked by yet another goon who's got like a trolley of luggage, and as she walks in, she snaps a finger and points him back out into the street. And he puts down the luggage and turns to leave. You just jam the shut door. And you just sort of jam to the corner. She's got
I'm
no
going
reason
out
to look
that
for you
window.
here. And then
I don't think I'm going back down.
It eventually
the
will
other way.
slide back shut. You can take a breath. And actually, let's make a luck roll. See if anyone else was waiting for this lift to go up.
Excuse me. Let's make a luck roll after I spent 62 points of luck.
This is the best time to do it.
Push it with a mechanical
What?
repair. Jam the doors.
Ooh, I'm tempted.
Do you want to make an electrical repair to try and break the elevator so they can't get it open? You like pop that. You could
How many
pop the
how many
thing.
elevators are there?
There's several. You could, as this
Is it
starts
just the
opening,
one?
you could.
Oh.
Why don't you make the luck roll first? That'll determine if people are here or not, and then we can. Then you'll
Alright,
get
great.
another roll. This is not immediate detection.
Because you can go back up and then start disabling lifts and make their life hard.
Well, here's my 11 luck roll.
Yeah,
Wow.
there's people waiting for it. If you just jam the button, they're going to start moving in. So you could make a stealth test to jam yourself into the side and to go as people come in. Or I think electrical repair suits. You could like you always have a little.
Mechanical repair?
I think this is electric. For the lift, it's electrical. Because what
is
I'm
the
suggesting
door.
is that'd be if you
door.
physically sabotage it. This would be like popping off the
Actually, quick
buttons
question.
and yanking like the emergency stop so that you have control, and then you can wire it to go back up.
Quick
Hold on,
question.
this is the 30s. There'd be like an elevator operator
Yeah,
or something.
the 30s,
Would be.
All
because
mechanical, I think.
In that
yeah,
case-
the lifts in the 30s would have been because
There
you've got to
would've
cause the
been
door and pull
someone.
levers and stuff, and then there's
yeah,
a
there's
counterweight
definitely
that drops in,
mechanical.
not electrical, or at least I don't
That
think
is
so.
true. You are right. I'm probably out of it. All right, it is mechanical. You're right. There's definitely a guy standing on the other side.
Don't make us Google it.
One
As we will.
last suggestion.
I already am.
One last suggestion.
Automatic elevators didn't come along till the 40s.
This would be far too. All right, I think mechanical repair works then. Nice.
One last suggestion I'll say. Intimidate anyone in the lift with you. Climb
Yeah.
up to the top, into the shaft, leap to the other shaft, to the other elevator, cut the elevator cord, kill Rose, and
Finish the campaign. Yeah,
Speed run.
easy.
Go ahead and give me a mechanical repair roll, Jackson.
All right.
He's tabbing back across from Wikipedia. I can see it.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
I am the master of this elevator.
You're able to jam it. I think you are right. There is an operator on the other side looking at you, but as he goes to open the doors,
You're just
you
like,
jam a screwdriver in something and then smack it so it disappears down the other side, and he sort of like frowns at it and begins to mess with it to try and get it to open. The doors are wedged like partially open, so you could try and squeeze your way out and disappear into the crowd, or you could fix it and try and go back up to you. We will deal with that on the next round. So
give me some time. I'm going to take the next round to do some elevator research, and that's going to give me ideas
all
about
right,
exactly
awesome. We'll circle back
what's
to you.
happening and what I'm going to do about it.
The man that you are chasing, Carter, vanishes around the side. So like squeezes his way through and then goes darting past. As you're in pursuit, you see him weave through. There are several men performing like snake charming routines for raising money or whatever else, and as one of them dances up out of the basket, the fleeing man barely jumps over it. The snake rises up and then he stumbles, slams into another person who wheels around, drops the basket he's carrying, and this huge cobra slides around and raises up from it to look towards you. The man yells again and then vanishes onto the other side where he's charging towards a busy road to try and make his escape. So he moves through. They're actually creating an obstacle on this one, and you are in pursuit. I will note, you are very serpentine yourself. You can probably just cow this thing. Otherwise, it will try and lunge at you. What would you like to do?
I mean, I have pretty good intimidate.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm, at this point, a snake.
Yeah.
So would this count, like, could I make an intimidation roll against a snake rather than a animal handling roll?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Make an intimidation roll with a bonus dice.
Okay.
Because it's being charming.
Well, a hard success.
Yeah, nice. What does it look like? This snake rears up. It's recently freed from its cage. It is angry and it looks to lunge at you, and then as it rears up, it comes like face to face with you.
Yeah, I think as Ares like runs kind of up to it, slows briefly, looks at it, and just goes, "I have eaten my own skin recently, and if you don't behave, I'll eat you too."
Sort of looks at you and then, doing a better snake charming routine than any of the other people on the street, it like waves the back and then fully retreats back into the basket. It's like nope.
It's like fair.
You're able to move
Do
past
you want
that
to get
one.
eaten by me? Some people do, but I don't think you do. And just like at that point, will, once I see it begin to retreat, like hop over and continue booking it, kind of dodging and weaving around people, getting up on, up above people if I can, to keep the dex rather than strength, pushing my way through.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
You begin to chase after and are still 1 point behind and keeping pace at the moment. So across to Hubert. James, you just made the plummeted down the things. What is in front of you now is a side alley packed with people. It's absolutely thronging.
Can I suggest that I know that just next to this is a second side alley? Can I argue navigate to try and weave my way through a different path?
Actually, do you want to make a navigate roll? Do you want to just try and bypass this alley, or do you want to try and predict like a more dramatic course? You're a bit behind. You could risk this and possibly skip a couple of side streets and come out back on like the next main road and hope that's the one that they're traveling for. But the failure here will be like you are almost completely out of the chase.
Yep. Let's absolutely do it.
Okay. 2 of the goons go racing. They all go into the side thing and try and squeeze their way through. One of them sees you going somewhere else and will follow you. He thinks you might have the shortcut. Go ahead and give me a navigation roll.
Success.
Yeah, you go like charging along parallel to the whole thing, and then when you skid out on the other side, you are just seeing Carter emerge from the same side street. You're a little bit behind, but you are now on pace with Carter as you go. One of the goons will travel with you. He thinks that's a great trick. The other two are both going to need to try and force their way through. One of them's got like tea streaming down his hair and is looking a little bit dazed and confused. The first will succeed. The second will fail. So one is stalled at this point. But the
P-boy
other
fails.
It was sleepy time tea, chemical warfare. He'll be out in a second.
But the one that took the tea is the one that gets into the side street now. Back. So we've got one of them still coming down the side street, one of them which is about to face the Cobra, and one of them that is kept pace with Hubert. Back inside, Minnie, you get to the room, and as you approach the door, you can hear someone on the inside.
I would
It sounds like they are turning the place over. You can hear like furniture being flipped.
I'm pretty like these rooms will have en suites. They'll have separate spaces in them. They're pretty big, right? I think they're suites.
Yes, yeah, that's right.
Okay. I'm pretty stealthy. What I wouldn't mind doing is trying to get in and secret myself in there and figure out what they're looking for, or wait till they leave, or
Yeah. So as this guy is actively turning the room over, you slide in the door
I would
and
love to
begin
do that.
creep towards a closet or something. Give me a stealth roll. This is going to be normal difficulty, so a success will do it, but reasonable penalties as you basically try and creep up on the one guy
and
inside.
like if I start to fail it, like if I'm going to slide in, I'm like, oh, I can't do this. I will just fail. Like I'll have the opportunity to just fail.
Okay.
You know what? I'm gonna spend a point of luck to make that a hard.
Okay, yeah, I'll say with a hard, you can find like a closet or something which you ease open, you get inside, and you can just click it shut and peer through the slats and watch this take place if you like. The other person inside is another goon, very much similar to the others, a big guy in a sort of too tight suit, and he is flipping open. He is taking like luggage, wrenching it open and sending it scattering along the ground. He's flipping over beds and mattresses. He's clearly looking for something in particular. At one point, there's like a wallet with like some bills in it, and he just sends that like. He doesn't even look in it. It just gets flung. He's completely uninterested. And he also seems reasonably not stressed, but very much dedicated to what he's doing. You park yourself there, and we'll leave you there for the moment. As down on the lower level,
While I'm waiting, I'm probably going to be like moving like the scarf I wear over my face, and maybe picking something out of the closet and like disguising myself. If he finds it, my intention is to basically rush him, take it, and leave.
Hell yes.
That's the attempt.
That's hilarious. I will say
Like basically disguise myself. And
the cupboard. You also just for a note, the cupboard appears to be the wardrobe of two men that were staying here. One of them, and they don't have a lot with them. It's pretty bare. You probably in the cupboard. There's probably like a spare jacket and a pair of trousers or something that you can, jam the jacket on.
I'll like shrug into a jacket and wrap the scarf around my face.
Okay, perfect. We'll park you there and go back across to Jackson, who has, imagine, about completed his research. The bloke who's in the operator that's standing next to you is bewildered, and he's sort of like just jamming the mechanism a couple times, and he's going, "I'm so sorry, sir. I'm so sorry. We'll get you out of here in just a moment."
Right. No rush at all. Yes, elevators have an elevator operator. Automatic elevators were invented in the 20s, but people were reluctant to use them. They didn't have widespread use. And also, so there's like a big lever that sits there on the floor, and you push it that way to go down, you pull it that way to go up.
Hell yeah.
And you got to line it up just right, so you can't, it doesn't like, the elevator doesn't know where
there's no lock in,
and there's another control to open and close the door. So I imagine I have like somehow sabotaged the open and close the door. So
I think that's right.
The door slammed shut and won't open.
They're like, I think there's like a this wide gap. Like you could try and shimmy your way through it and onto the other side. Otherwise, it's just jammed for the moment.
No, I want to like keep the door closed and just like go back up somehow to the lobby.
He's focusing on the thing. You could just reach over, grab the go up stick and swing it. You're taking control of it. It's not subtle.
I'm thinking. I'm just gonna like stumble and be like, "Oh no, no worries at all," and just like Oh, I'm just gonna lean over here and rest and go, oh, I'm so sorry, we're going up now. Oh dear, oh no, it's stuck. Oh yeah. Oh, we're back up on the second floor? Oh, no worries.
Can you
maybe,
give me
maybe we can get out here.
Can you give me a fast talk test?
Is it? It's not a fast talk. It's like one of the, it's like casual.
I mean,
You're
doesn't
doing
necessarily.
you're doing a full routine. This needs a fast talk check.
Yeah. It's a bit of a slapstick routine.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's fantastic. It is for sure going to be a fast talk roll.
I got 5 in fast talk.
He's
I
basically
had
just not
20
going
in
to sell
tea.
it.
I had 20 in throw.
Is there anything else you can argue, Sam?
Dexterity.
I think it's faster because as soon as you start leaning on it, he's gonna go, no sir, don't lean on that. You have to, and he'll try and pull you off it.
Oh, okay.
Medicine. Hit him with the sleeping pills.
Stab him. Karate chop. Yeah.
Here's a little fast talk for you. Just to amuse you, Dave.
Okay, yeah.
That was just for you.
He was like wrenching on the thing, and then suddenly the elevator jolts. He turns around and he goes, no, sir, you can't lean on that, sir. And he goes to like grab you, and he's gonna try and pull you up. We are gonna do this as a brawl maneuver as he tries to haul you off it. Go ahead and you can do either dodge or brawl. Either one of these on a tie, I think you will take, Sam. So it's really just how you want to do it because you're mostly just fumbling around the thing.
I'm gonna dodge, but like dodge away from him and dodge more into the lever.
Hell yeah.
She was like, "Oh no, I'm sorry. Now you're freaking me out."
You don't
Just
have
like
a large
shriek,
size,
like,
do you?
don't touch me.
Your
No,
size
I'm
is standard.
I'm a waif. My size is 40.
It's gonna be give me a straight roll then. So go ahead and give me a fighting brawl roll or dodge.
Oh, brawl?
Brawl or
Dodge. I
dodge,
dodged
brawl or
away from him and into the level. Done. 43 success.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, sorry, 23. Hard success. Sorry, hard success.
Nice. He goes to grab you and like comically you like duck under. He falls over you in a full prat. He's scrambling on the ground as the elevator starts to rise back up, and you will vanish from the first level and go back towards the top. You were on like level like 3 or 4 or something, so it'll take a little bit to get back up. The lift's still slightly open enough to do a full little routine as you rise back up. We go now back to the thrilling race. The fleeing man, there is a full busy road that he is trying to dodge his way through. As he goes into it, he like spins around, his jacket flying open for a moment. One rickshaw careens past with a honk of a horn, and now he's dancing through the center of traffic as he falls, almost rolls a little bit and just gets to the other side before darting off. I will roll to see if he gets cleaned up by a truck quickly.
That'd be pretty
Wouldn't that
funny
be
end
fun?
to this.
This could resolve
Just like the
very
bus.
quickly, I will say. And he does it. He vanishes onto the other side dancing, and you can see him he's making his way into it. On the other side, there is immediately like a glass-fronted window, and he is charging into a restaurant, which he slams open. You can hear the bell. Carter. So he actually, with this, he gets through there, and he is into the restaurant and going, because again, he is moving faster than all of you by default, as long as he keeps succeeding. Carter, it's your turn.
Great. Dodge through traffic, do the same.
Make a dodge roll, please. Okay, yeah. Is
That's 3 points
yours
for
a bunch of
party,
like
that'll
panic
help.
dodging, or is it like cool just strides through?
Is giving you a hard success on this meaning that I can kind of keep up with him, or no?
No, I think you probably need an extreme to actually fully keep pace. He is just faster. When he really puts his foot down, he is moving quicker. You need to take a risk doing something if you really want to get around. Like try and preempt him, try and take a shot at him or something. Otherwise, just keeping pace. As long as you are within a margin, you can at least see where he's going, and you'll get there. He also,
I'm going next. Can I team up here with Carter to try and get them a little closer?
Yeah, what are you thinking? You are on the same section now. It's the two of you and one goon. So Carter will make their way across. Hubert, what do you want to try and do?
It's dodging the traffic, and you mentioned rickshaws. Could I try and like grab a rickshaw from somebody and like move it into the center so I literally hold up traffic so that Carter just has a flat sprint and I'll fall behind in the chase or even get out of it entirely, but they have a chance to get there?
Yes, absolutely. So you got your high vis on, you step out of traffic, put the hands up, you say, whoa, whoa, whoa. What are you thinking of rolling here, Jim? I can see intimidate is the most obvious.
Hang on, what are rickshaws? Are rickshaws pedaled, or do they have animals?
Some of them are like people carrying them, some are
Walking.
like people.
Yeah, they're like carried.
And is a rickshaw?
There's also a bunch of just cars as well. Like it's
Is
just
a rickshaw bigger than a horse? Because we've seen Hubert fling a horse before,
Oh, yeah.
and I think you could take a
horse.
rickshaw and just fling it into the middle, like center traffic, and create a traffic jam.
You could
This
just
is like
start
a
moving
crowded-
shit around.
Yeah, if this is a crowded street the way I'm picturing it, I think I walk over and I like grab someone's cart and just yank it boldly into the center of the road. Everyone hits on like the brakes. Alternatively, if you want me to sort of start arguing for good rolls, I know that if this is like sort of there's like some like donkey drawn carts or whatever, I could argue like a ride or something. If there's an animal.
Oh my god, let him ride. Let the man
If you
ride.
want to
Personally,
ride, you could
when
try
I,
and ride.
When I was in India,
I just
we got
really wanna
pulled
see
up by
Hubert
cows in
fully
traffic. Might be a thing. but-
Yeet
The other
an
one I-
entire cart into the road.
That's what I can see. I think
that's
that'll just be a straight because what I can see is Hubert stepping out, flagging down a rickshaw. The guy turns up, stops, goes, "Sir, you're too big, I can't," and you just pick up the rickshaw and throw it into traffic.
Oh god, this guy's gonna be very pissed at me. Sure, let's go with it.
Do you want to go ahead and just give me a straight strength roll?
I'm gonna be honest, if you can yeet an entire rickshaw, I feel that man is going to be terrified.
That man
of
was going
you.
to run.
Can I take over some description?
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, he gets up. I reach up my hand, pull him down, grab the rickshaw, hurl it into traffic. It's a dramatic scene. Cars skid everywhere. Holds at the whole thing. And after tearing my, I turn around, I pull out my wallet, and I start going, "I am so sorry," and just piling bills into his hand. I will pay for all of the damages. Very embarrassing.
Can I make a suggestion as well?
Yeah.
Just for silliness? Can he please yell, "My cabbages"?
Oh god.
My rickshaw! As it was flying through the air, and then Hubert immediately begins to refund the poor man. Nicely done. Yeah, with that, Carter, I will say you get a clean run to dart through and straight across, moving past the busy road, and you are into the restaurant straight on the man's tails. Additionally, the goon that was right behind Hubert also takes advantage of this gap in traffic to go charging across and into the restaurant right behind Carter.
Very cool.
These other ones are just behind, actually. They will be relevant in a moment. I'm aware of the time, so what I'm going to do is basically we are going to quick save our passage here. I think there's a little bit more to come, so we're going to get a sense of where everyone is, set the scene, and then we'll pick this up immediately next time right back in the action in Calcutta. So, Dr. Sam has taken control of the lift. The man is still trying to wrestle himself back up to...
Commandeered the elevator.
He's trying to get it back. There has been a mutiny in the elevator.
Look at me. I'm the elevator operator now.
Down on a lower level, you know that Rose is present and has there's a goon traveling with her, dressed very similarly to the others in play. It looks like this is her particular scheme. As Minnie is hidden in the room with one of them tearing it to parts and hunting for something. You are certain that if he finds you in there, you will be in dire straits. Carter
I got a
is...
gun.
There's always guns. Carter is hot on the trail of the fleeing stranger who seems absolutely terrified from his life and is running from these serpent persons in pursuit. And as you dart into the restaurant, one of them is right behind you. And lastly, Hubert, having just thrown a rickshaw to fully block traffic, two more goons come round the side, exhausted. One of them's got like a cobra bitten onto his arm, and it's just hanging there limply, and he's got tea streaming down his head, and he levels a finger at you and moves to engage.
I will then take my jacket off, hand it to the guy who I just paid a bunch of money, and say, "Hold this for me," and in full big thug mode go to fight some goons.
Incredible. All right, that is where we are going to leave this session. So thank you everyone for tuning in, and thank you to the four of you all for playing.
Thank you,
we
Dave,
will
for
be
keeping.
back, Dunker. We will be back next week in the same time at the same place. Yeah, that's right. So we look forward to seeing you soon. Have a good one.